Hi, it's Chef Mike Panja, and I have an interesting project for you today. It's sushi, a sushi roll, in particular a cucumber roll, which is a kappamaki in Japanese. It is the basic roll, and it's the easiest one to make, and that's why I want you to start with it. You'll have to practice. Getting the right amount of rice in the roll is a precise thing that needs to be done. You need to practice it over and over to get it right. The good part is the practice runs, even though they might not be perfectly round, they might not seal right, they might be leaking rice. The good part is they still taste good. You can enjoy them for lunch or dinner or as an appetizer anytime. So keep practicing, follow the instructions. You're not going to become a sushi chef without 10 years of apprenticeship minimum. So let's not fool ourselves into thinking that any of us are sushi chefs. I'm certainly not. But I practice this roll over and over and over. I'm not perfect yet, and I know you won't be perfect for a while, but you'll be pretty good if you practice. I promise you. Another interesting thing about the kappamaki, the cucumber roll, is that it's vegetarian completely. Nothing for the vegan crowd to worry about. So it might be the one type of sushi that they can really enjoy. Well, thanks for watching. I look forward to it. Let's get started. Let's look at what we'll need to make our sushi rolls. First, the short grain white rice. Then the seaweed wrapper or nori. We'll flavor the rice with a combination of rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. And we'll form our sushi rolls with a sushi rolling mat. You can look for these items in the international food section of your supermarket or in an Asian foods market, or failing all else, all this stuff is on Amazon. Now I'm going to take 1 cup of sushi rice and rinse it thoroughly until the water runs clean. Now put the rice in a saucepan. Add 1 1/4 cups of water and bring to a boil. Once it boils, give it a stir and lower the heat very low to a simmer. After 1 minute, set the heat very low. Cover and let simmer for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, turn off the heat and let it rest for about 10 minutes. When the rest is done, use a fork to fluff the rice. While the rice cooks, we can prepare our add-ins. 3 tablespoons of sugar, 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Now we can stir in our rice vinegar mixture. Just stir it enough that every grain of rice gets covered with the vinegar mixture. Time to start working on forming our rolls. To make a sushi roll about 1 inch in diameter, we need to use a half of a nori sheet. And it's pretty easy to cut it in half because it folds and tears very easily. I want to prepare the insides of our sushi roll, but first I'd like to mention a little trick I've seen on the internet, and that is to use a wet paper towel to anchor your cutting board so it doesn't slide around. Here's what I've discovered. You don't have to wet it. It works fine dry. Okay. I'm going to use a mini cucumber. I'll split it in half, and then each half in half again. Just cut that center point out where all the seeds are. Now we're ready to start our sushi roll. We'll take our half sheet of nori, and if you look at it, you can see one side is shinier than the other. Place the shiny side down. Align the edge of the nori with the near edge of your rolling mat, your sushi rolling mat. I'm keeping some water handy that I've spiked with a splash of the rice vinegar, and that'll keep the rice from sticking to my hands. So I'm going to wet my hands with the water and take a handful of the rice, and starting at the far edge of the nori, we want to spread it out. Now make sure you leave about 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimeters with no rice on it at the far end. Okay. Now, kick off any extra grains of rice on that far edge, because if they remain there, they'll interfere with our sealing. Now, what we want to do is create a trough in this sausage-shaped piece of rice that we've just put down. And we press in. Now, that's where we're going to lay our center material. Meanwhile, take the rest of the rice at the near edge and pull it toward you. Again, leaving some nori showing with no rice on it. Filling in some thin spots to make sure we have uniform rice. Okay, and you can see how that works. I've left like a dam, an edge of rice, which we'll put our material. In this case, we're going to use a cucumber. We set it up against what is actually a dam, and I'll need some more here. Cut off a piece to complete it. That'll go right there. Now here comes the critical part. We want to roll this mat so that this edge, the near edge of the sushi and the near edge of the mat, hits the far end of the sushi right where the rice ends. Okay? And that'll help us make a nice roll. So here we go. Pressing it right down there. Now we've got a little extra rice sneaking out. I want to scoop that out of the way so it doesn't interfere with our sealing. Okay, now you press down, squeeze it, press down. This helps make sure that the rice adheres to the nori. Now roll it back, separate the rolling mat, Now, you see we've got that tab that we left, which is perfect. Now we roll it down and it seals together. Now the ends are a little rough. Don't worry about that. We'll trim them off and make it perfect in a minute. Once again, I'm going to put down our paper towel to keep the cutting board from sliding. Once again, I'm using it dry. We'll take our sushi roll, seam side down, and we're just going to trim off the rough edges. It helps to also wet the knife. We'll cut off the other edge. Traditionally, this kind of roll is cut in 6 pieces. You start by cutting it in half. Place the 2 halves next to each other and cut it in thirds. And there we have it, a typical serving, 6 pieces. Time to give it a try. Serve this with a little soy sauce for dipping, and if you like, a little bit of wasabi. I have it as a form of a paste here. I put it right into the soy sauce. Pretty good stuff. Well, that's it. I hope you'll try it. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.